For starters, can you just introduce yourself? Just your name, where you're from, and maybe what you do.
Hey, my name's James Turner. I'm a nurse at a local hospital here in New Liskeard. I work in med-surg primarily, and I spent some time in emergency in the ER here.
Right. And of course, almost a week ago now, on Monday, you had a pretty scary situation caught on your dash cam. For our listeners and viewers who haven't seen the video, can you just describe what happened that day?
So it's a overcast, cloudy day. There's a little bit of like water on the roads. It's not too beautiful out. I was gonna go and grab lunch. A driver in front of me swerved into oncoming traffic. I used my headlights to say, hey, maybe stay on the road, get your eyes off your cell phone, because I thought maybe they were texting and driving. They pulled off to the side, so I thought maybe they might need medical help. And from there, they try reversing into me. That doesn't go their way. So they turn around and swerve and try and push me into a bridge with a 200-foot drop to frozen water. That didn't work out for them, so they chased me towards the police station because I figured I'd be safe if I got to the police station. My car didn't survive the process, but gratefully I did. And it doesn't appear
Yeah,
any other civilians were hurt, so that was very good as well.
during this whole time, you were on the phone. You called 911. You were on the phone with an operator. Tell me about that phone call.
Uh, I I wasn't able to pay as much attention to the operator as maybe I should have been. I was paying more attention to reversing, making sure other drivers didn't get hit, and to reduce damage to me when I got hit. I was unable to catch the license plate during the incident, unfortunately, with my own two eyes, but my dash cam did catch it. I'm very grateful that the police were able to tactfully acquire this man and keep him from harming anybody else. I understand that the dispatcher was already trying to get units to the scene, but they were at his last known location, and so it took some time for the police to come to me. But I'm very grateful that they were able to safely intervene in the situation at the end, and I'm very grateful for the paramedics that patched me up, and the firemen who made sure my car was towed safely.
Yeah, I see your wrist is bandaged. What kind of injuries did you suffer from this?
So I've been told that I have a strain and a sprain. My right thumb is very sensitive. I lost sensation in it post-accident, but I believe I'm on the road to recovery, and we're looking forward to physio and exercise to make sure I gain my strength back so I can continue helping people every day of my life as a nurse and as a human.
Yeah, when you made impact on your wrist, was that on the bridge, or I know a little bit later you went in front of the Tim Hortons, you were hit again then, or maybe it's just difficult to recall, huh?
Very difficult to recall the exact time when my right wrist was damaged. Um, I can't tell you for sure, but it felt fine getting out of bed that morning, and it didn't feel fine that day, so after the accident. So I don't really have an answer, unfortunately.
But it's, you know, when I heard about this, I was kind of looking into kind of the stats around road rage, and there was a poll a couple years ago that most Canadians have experienced to one degree or another. I mean, certainly this case seems like a very extreme case. I'm wondering, had you ever experienced something like this before in your life?
I've experienced people threatening my life before working as a nurse. It's very normal for violence against nurses to be perpetuated. I've been chased by people with an axe. I've been threatened. I've been told I'm going to be beaten up. But thankfully, very few people manage to go from the threat stage to actually doing it, because there's a block. I think it's generally called being rethinking your choices and understanding the consequences of your actions. Um, just like any other nurse, you get hit fairly regularly. You get pushed. It's but nothing like this. This is obscene, I believe.
I mean, as you mentioned, as a nurse, you have a job where sometimes it is you are in high stress situations. You're dealing with people sometimes on the worst days of their lives.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's professional training helped you remain relatively calm in this situation?
I would like to think so, but I know for a fact that I have coworkers who would respond better to the situation. I work with people with a lot of technical experience. I work with police officers that have far more skills than I do. I'd like to think I was did the best I could given the situation. Um, and some people would perform worse and some people would perform better, but I'm very grateful that I was awake and able to respond to the best of my ability. And hindsight is 50-50, but I'm not entirely sure what I could have done better in that moment.
Why was it important for you to share the video on social media after it happened?
There's a couple of things. One, to let people know. So originally I shared it because my dash cam was taken from me by the police. I wanted to make sure that there was copies of the video for court, because you hear a lot of cases where like information gets lost, videos get lost. So I shared it first with the paramedics so that they would have a file in case it got lost or damaged, or if my dash cam itself would be broken during the incident. And then it was mostly to let people know, hey, I'm okay, but this is what happened to me. But now I'm more concerned about making sure that people are aware that mental health is important. In one of my interviews with CTV, I think it was national, I suggested that we should all be trying to help other people, and not necessarily in the way that I did in that video, but just um, to seek help if you need mental health help. Take your medications as prescribed by the doctor, and if you have a friend going through crisis, be there for them. But firstly, go to therapy. If you're on meds for depression or psychosis, take them. Make sure it is the job of every human to be diligent, and uh, the consequences of our actions aren't chosen by us, but our actions are certainly chosen by us. So
Yeah,
try
and
and
I spoke with a police officer yesterday about this incident, and he told me that it was clear that this individual was probably not well mentally. What do you think about when you think about this person might be going through?
um I, I don't know this person specifically, but I have a lot of online. I've been told that the person was suffering from bipolar disorder. I have many friends who have bipolar disorder, and they have plans, backup plans for if their meds aren't working, if they run out, or if they are going into an episode to maintain safety. They'll check themselves into the hospital. Their goal in life is to keep themselves and their friends safe. And they don't want attention. None of my friends want to hurt other people. Um, and so they take their meds diligently, and they want to be upstanding members of society. I can't speak to the events for this gentleman, but I do definitively hope that he seeks help, he gets help, and he takes medications appropriately, as any person who's struggled with mental health should seek help and get help.
You posted the video. It went viral. Thousands upon thousands of people have seen it. What do you make of the reaction from just regular people, whether they know you personally or don't?
About 90 to 95% of people just are greatly confused by the aggressive actions. They're very happy that I'm okay. I'm able to talk about this ordeal. Um, there's a minute period of group of individuals who aren't happy with me, think I did everything wrong. But no matter what happens in life, you will always have people that think they can do better, think that you did wrong, or think that you're insert terrible not compliment here. Um, I think the vast majority of people I've talked to who have experienced life say you can't plan for all eventualities, and they support me in just taking care of myself and that person in taking care of themselves, and hopefully moving on to bigger and better things in life. Like I really sincerely hope this person is able to be a functional member of society who helps their neighbors and loves people and is able to recover from this situation and is a beneficial member of society. I really truly hope that they're okay in that way.
Thankfully, your physical injuries were only minor. How are you
Yes.
feeling mentally? Have you been back in a vehicle since this
Yes.
happened?
Yes, I've driven a couple of times. I'm very grateful to my local enterprise lady, Rita. She runs the local enterprise here, and she's beyond lovely, a lovely member of our community who's just so wonderful. She came in on her day off to make sure I could get a rental car 5 days before they opened. So she wasn't even supposed to be work that day or that week. She opened it up early just for me, which I'm really grateful for. I've done small drives over the through town and through to the conflict zone, and everything went well. I must say that I don't appreciate the automatic headlights on the vehicle I'm driving because it kept on flashing people when it was going on and off, and the sensor. It might be a newer car, but man, oh man, it flashed its high beams at an oncoming car, and I was a little bit scared of that. So I'm going to be using manual controls, and I did before anyways, but just trying to get used to a new car, you know?
Yeah, we didn't even get into that, but there was a pretty significant damage to your vehicle, wasn't there?
Yes, very much so. There was 2 police cars that may be write-offs, one that's partially damaged, and then my car is a total write-off, and the RAV4 that the person was driving is also a write-off.
Okay. James, was there anything we didn't discuss that you think would be important for our listeners and viewers to know?
I I talked with CBC Toronto and CBC National, and I feel that they didn't pay attention to some of the messages I wanted to get out, and I appreciate you listening, and I hope you can put in the written article that we should seek help and be help. A lot of people complain about how the world is, and people are like, I hope you never help anybody ever again. You learned your lesson, don't help people. And I don't think that's the takeaway from this. I think the takeaway is check on your loved ones, make sure they're taking care of their mental health, make sure if you struggle with anger, I did when I was a child, and I made myself, I personally requested that I go in for anger management because I didn't want to end up like my father. I didn't want to be an angry man who hurt people. And I wanted to be more like my mom, a kind, caring, compassionate woman who cares for people and helped people even out of nothing. My mother, and we grew up impoverished, but my mother made sure to help people who were in bad situations. And I hope I can live up to the high standard that my mother set. And my stepfather is a good man who helps others. And I want to emulate that. I want my legacy to be that I was at least moderately helpful and wasn't harmful to anybody. I think we all have a chance to grow. We all have a past where, like in high school, I wasn't the nicest person. And I do hope I've grown from that and become a better person and trying to, I think that's something that we all need to work on to grow, not become stagnant, to treat others with respect so that we can all just go home and spend time with our loved ones and enjoy holidays with our family, with celebrations.
Well, I mean, as a nurse, I'm sure helping others is in your DNA in a way.
I believe so. My mom told me to be a nurse, so that's why I'm a nurse.
And I'm sure, you spoke about how some of your close friends have had struggles with mental health, and I'm sure also in your day job, seeing people in the AER, you're also seeing that with whether it's the opioid crisis or people just generally having mental health struggles, and it feels like it's gotten worse since the pandemic. That's kind of exacerbated some of these issues in a way. Do you feel that?
It's hard for me to say. I think we all come from a background of thinking the younger generations are worse than our generation. I remember reading in a history textbook once that there's clay tablets where people wrote down saying that they were upset that the children weren't learning how to write with papyrus properly. papyrus, I believe. You see in textbooks that it's the downfall of society, that children can't write properly on a chalkboard anymore since they've moved to ink with a quill and parchment paper. And we see this generational thing where my generation will say, well, the kids don't know how to use a calculator, and we were told you need to do long division math because you'll never have a calculator on your... I think the advent of technology and communication lets us see a lot of the evil in the world um, very fast, and we're drowned in this toxic mess. But there's also the potential for seeing the good in the world, the people, the community pulling together to do a vigil for lost souls, for people to do search and rescue teams with like an IR drone with the police. Like there's so much good that just gets missed because bad bad spreads so fast. The saying is a lie spreads faster than the truth can get its pants on, or something like that. I'm really sorry, but it's our world still has hope. I meet young nurses, young people every day that are so incredible. I was helped out by a stranger in the community after the accident, and they had their child in their car between the ages of 10 and 20, I'm going to say. I wasn't paying that much attention, but that young person in the car with their parent was very thoughtful and very kind and compassionate through my stress. And that gives me hope for the future, that these young people, they display compassion that is so integral to the future of our society.
Well, James, well, I'm very glad that you're doing well, and yeah, and hopefully, you know, the person does, as you said, does receive the help they need. I mean, certainly they're facing several charges, as you know.
Yes.
But along the way, hopefully, they can get the help they need as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I really appreciate you reaching out to me and being so pleasant to talk to. You seem to be a very, very lovely person and very helpful through the camera, or camera-less, as the case may be.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Okay. Yeah. Have yourself a great day and weekend. And yeah, all the best.
Yes. I would ask if you could just make sure
Yeah.
that somewhere in your article or anything, that you encourage people to seek help for mental health and to take care of themselves. And
I certainly will.
I appreciate that so much.
It's very relevant here, since it seems like this was someone who's healthy mentally that doesn't take these types of actions. So this person clearly, has some things they have to deal with, and hopefully we can through.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and you have yourself a beautiful day.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.